I'm Shwa, and you are listening to Light Up with Shwa, a weekly podcast to open our hearts and minds on a journey with me. Assalamu alaikum, Fatima.
Assalamu alaikum, assalam, Shwa.
Okay, so I would like to talk about your interfaith journey. Please tell me, what do you mean by interfaith and what's the value of it in your life and how you got involved into it?
For me, I had an opportunity to live in India where I believe that interfaith was embedded in us because we lived amongst Christians, we lived amongst Hindus and Buddhists and Sikhs. So it was just a part of me, and that was, I think, living in India, a secular country. Mm-hmm. Once we came to America, I think initially it never really hit us. We just took it for granted, everything. And our kids were growing up. We let the kids meet everybody. And here and there we would meet people with other faiths and denominations. And just hi, hello, but not really making an effort to really get to know about their faith. And we just took it for granted, I guess. Living even with our neighbors, we just felt, okay, they're there and, we know who they are and that's it. But about 3 years ago, we had something in our local school board where somebody made some derogatory comment about Muslims or something. And I had the opportunity to go to that board meeting, and people were talking to each other and they said that, well, do you know any people of your different faith, of Muslim faith or Jewish faith? And people said, no, we really don't. Some of them did, some of them don't. And I thought to myself, oh, really? I don't know really anybody in that depth. And I remember I was talking to my friend Lubna a couple of months ago, said, you know what, we really need to make an effort to go out and meet people of other faiths. And we talk about it, but we don't really do the work. So for that board meeting day, it was like, I guess, God's way of, introducing. I was standing inside the door, waiting to go to my car, when I had the opportunity to meet Rabbi Shira Stern, who actually spoke up on the stage and said that, I never had the opportunity to meet somebody in person, to get to know a Muslim person and get to know about their religion. So we actually happened to be standing in the corridor, and I said, hi, I introduced myself, and she introduced herself, and she said, I'm an educator, she's an educator. And I said, listen, I'd love to get to, know you and, meet you. So I guess the rest is history. After a week or two, we contacted each other, and then we got together at my mosque, and then we learned so many things about our religion, and we said, you know what, let's get a whole group of women and start our own little organization. So we started building bridges, where we build bridges and get to know each other as not just women of faith, but just mothers.
Which faiths were part of your?
It's Jewish and Muslims.
You were already meeting.
Yeah, we started building. Yeah, we started this 3 years ago, and then that year, Rabbi Shira said that there's a Sisterhood of Salam Shalom that that they're having annual conference. So we went to that, and lo and behold, we asked to join and make our own chapter, and we made our Mammoth County Marlboro chapter for Sisterhood of Salam Shalom. Nice. And the past 2.5, 3 years, we've done quite a lot of programs. We have about 30 to 35 members. It depends, it varies. But we've got
your chapter.
In our chapter, okay. And we've gotten an opportunity to get to know each other on a personal level.
30 is a big number. How do you manage that?
Well,
are they always there?
No, not always, but 20, 25 are definitely there. And we got to know each other in our religion, that there's so many similarities. And we wanted to know each other on a personal level too. Not just that, you're my neighbor, or you're somebody I know from school, or from somebody I know from the grocery store. So we really got to know each other on a personal level, and connect and find a connection, and just wanted to learn about our how we have a lot of similarities. We have the same way of upbringing our children, and we realized that it's, what is it that's holding us back by not meeting? So it just
so what is it? What holds us back?
I think it's our laziness, I would say. Really, it is. You have to make an effort. You have to make an effort to or start organizing these events where you have get-togethers, you meet. You have to make an effort to make that a priority. And with these little things, I think in the past 3 years we have made an effort. And we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot that there's a lot we have in common. And just, I think, and in this time and age where there's so much anti-Semitism going on, there's so much Islamophobia, and we feel like, you know what, by them knowing us that, you know, Islam is not a very violent, it's not a violent religion, and we're just normal people, you know, we come here, and America is not what it's, you know, it's founded on the freedom of religion, and we're all here peaceful. And because of one or two fanatic people, why should we suffer? That is our, you know, whole thing. And I think by them knowing us on a personal basis, it's made a huge difference. And they can like vouch when they go out there that, no, I know Muslims, or I know Jewish people, and you know, we love him.
So have you been able to get, so I assume that all these people already were at a level that they were open to other people? Or have you found people who are very anti-Muslims or anti-this or that, and they have changed their mind and have joined the group? Because those are the people who should be sitting on the table, and not the ones who are already open and like-minded. And so how do you think, first of all, have you encountered those type of people? Second, have you thought of, like, how can you bring them to the table?
I think on both sides we've had a few people, and
who were reluctant
initially, and they felt like, obviously we were doing the events at the temple, and a lot of people that Rabbi Shira had that, oh, why are you doing this, and why do we have to be, and you know, these are, you know, so
they
slowly,
they
were asking. So slowly, she got them to come and meet and, you know, experience the whole process, and and it's grown. Quite a lot of people have come. And on the same side as Muslims, I think for us as Muslims, we've kept it. We didn't open it up to a lot of people. We do have like a good 20, 25 people. We could open it up more people. We just felt like we still need,
but 2025 is both Jewish and Muslim, not only Muslim.
Right. But out of those, maybe
half and half
come, you know, in each event, 20, 25, really depends. And it's really the depth of that person. If they really, really want to come and make a difference and learn.
So you had reluctant Muslims also?
We didn't. Or maybe we really didn't include them. Or maybe we didn't want to
include them?
We don't know if they're reluctant or not. And we just felt because of the capacity of how many people we can hold. Maybe we really didn't open it up too much. So there's a lot of factors contributing to that.
Yeah, because I was thinking that wouldn't those are the people who we need to tap.
Exactly. Right? I don't think in the Muslim side or the Jewish side there are that many people, but slowly we're going to get there. You know, we're learning how to deal with not being too confrontational of discussing issues. And we've learned in the process that there is a lot of resentment because of the Palestine-Israeli issue. So we need to first get to know each other and learn about each other, and to actually really talk about it. So there are people on both sides who are very passionate about it. And our aim is not to make people resentful. Our aim is to make people like understand each other. So I think that it's going to be a process, and we're learning from that. We ourselves, every meeting that we get together, there's we leave with a more better feeling of each other. Okay. So it's going to be a process that we're developing.
But I think it would be good, and I've been thinking in my part of town and in organizations that I'm working in, that we need to have or include those people who are like reluctant to come or join or have some anti-feelings about either side.
Right.
They are the ones who need to be educated from the point. I mean, they don't have to agree with everything.
Of course.
But they need to be educated that it's not so dangerous to be, facing each other. Okay, so Fatima, let's get to this question. Like, do you think that if you interact with other faiths mean if you're a Muslim, you follow the Islamic rituals and Islamic practices. Do you think that by meeting other faiths, your faith becomes diluted or weaker, or has it helped you to understand it more?
Again, being from the background of living in India and living in a multi-religious place, it gives you the opportunity to be very open-minded and to be able to understand your religion and their ways of doing things. So I guess I was fortunate enough to have that belief that, everybody is born in their religion and they're privileged to learn whatever they need to learn. And I'm privileged to have my faith, and I'm very strong in my faith, and have an understanding and tolerance of other people's faith as well. So it's made me more stronger, I guess, because of my faith. And I don't have this, I don't feel anything that, I'm going to get less or more. So that's something I having that understanding. If people, I feel, who have not lived with other people from, other parts of, they've not lived or encountered, people of a different faith, then they do have this kind of a sense of hesitation. That's in my opinion.
So have anybody ever asked you, like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you involved in interfaith, or like?
I did get, a response from some family member, I think, but again, that's from somebody from back home, and it depends on what, teachings or how they're interpreting the Quran. Because again, Quran is a very simple message, but how different people are relaying the message of the Quran makes a huge difference. So I did kind of get a negativity about, my interfaith activities. But then I had to explain to them that living in this time and age, we do need to be understanding and tolerant of everyone's faith. And we just can't sit back and expect, that's why all these events in the world are happening these days, because we don't have tolerance of the faith and the religion. And we have to be humanistic at the first.
So do you think, thank you for this answer, this was helpful. What do you think about Prophet Muhammad's time? What was he doing? Wasn't he interfaith?
He was, mashallah. He had with all the Christians, the Jewish people, and so we are learning from him what he did. So I don't think it's any different. So I don't understand why there should be any resistance from anyone.
Exactly. What have you found by meeting all these different people from different faiths or ethnicities and all these background diversities? What have you learned? Anything that you would like to share? Or
I mean, just the fact that, let's say I'm a Muslim from India. I had the opportunity to meet Muslims from different parts of India. I had an opportunity to meet Muslims from different parts of Pakistan. So imagine, we're Muslims, but we have different ways of dealing with our religion and our understanding of religion or our culture, be it food, language, wearing dresses, how we speak. It's amazing. Yeah, so, and even the religious aspect, it's, just amongst our own selves. If you meet the Arab communities, they have the same thing.
So there is so much diversity within
Islam.
And Islam.
Yeah. There is, amazing.
Not Islam, I would say Muslims, right?
Muslims in general.
And people think it's all uniform, but it's not.
It isn't. It's the way, there's so much diversity. It's unbelievable.
And then meeting other faiths is
exactly another, added.
Another layer to it, yeah.
So I think, but it's, again, it's being humanistic, being open to learning about different faiths, to learn about different cultures, to learn about different ethnicities. That's the beauty of it. And I think by living in America, that's what we're trying to do here. It's, mashallah, it's an amazing place. Every time I go travel the world, I look at everything and, how they have a nationalistic view that, okay, they're this one country with one language, but I love it when I come back here and it's like, it's so much diversity. Yeah. And I feel so blessed that I'm in this country, that it's such a blessing. So it's, I'm grateful that I have that mindset that I can embrace other religions and with an open heart and open passion. And for me, I think being human is first, and then bringing in religion as second. So that's my personal thing.
That's very
you know, because at the end of the day, all these things that you're seeing in the world that are happening, you know, even the past, that all, you know, how the Holocaust happened, or all these events that are happening in Syria, it's being human. It's not about religion. It's about the ideologies, and you know, so helping people out on that level is going to make a huge change, but not the religious aspect. I feel that people are bringing that into it and having, you know, issuing problems because of that.
Excellent. So I think we should. Do you think that there should be more training in interfaith and chaplaincy and advisory in interfaith and faith?
Definitely,
right?
definitely. I think the young generation, this generation really needs it, and I am seeing a huge change, and I feel like in the next 5 to 10 years, you will see a huge change. But it really depends on what the individual wants. Do they want to be open and they want to embrace all these things, or do they want to just live in that rigid society?
So I guess if the parents have that environment in the house or in their dealings, or if they're open to other people, then I guess children do see that.
Yes, and then I think in the school, if we teach the children about religion, multiculturalism, about all the different faiths, and now I think the children will also learn. But if you go back home and, you know, there's so much negativity being talked about and bashing of different religions, then that's where the child develops that feeling. But if you are very, you know, have a good, healthy conversation and explain to children at a young age that here we are, we have different religions, but we are, you know, we're all here as human, you know.
At the end of the day, we all are
human. And whatever color and, you know, ethnicity or race or whatever, but we are human first. So that needs to be taught at home and, you know, the schools and the institutions.
So there is hope.
I hope so, that there will be hope. and I pray for that, you know.
So there is hope in interfaith.
You have to be optimistic.
Okay.
You have to learn to be optimistic, or else then, you know, life will be very depressing.
So any last thoughts?
I just hope and pray that we all learn to respect and to love, and love would be a very strong word, but to learn to respect one another in this society, and to acknowledge that there are different religions, different ways of doing things.
My way is not the
highway. Yeah. So we really need to work together in providing those resources. So,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with me through this exciting episode. Please don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode of Light Up with Shwa.